Okay, I will start today's session. So in this class, we are going to discuss about role of entrepreneurs in economic development. Okay, so how entrepreneurs play a vital role in economic development of a nation. So that we are going to discuss in today's class. Contribution to GNP and per capita income. Okay, so you know the meaning of GDP. Okay, so what is the full form of GDP? What do you mean by GDP?
Gross domestic product.
Okay, product. What do you mean by GNP then? What do you mean by GNP? So here contribution to GNP and per capita income. So we know GDP means gross domestic product. What do you mean by GNP? So
Gross national product.
gross national product. What is the difference between GDP and GNP? Okay, so GDP means gross domestic product. It is an indicator which is based on the products and services, products produced and services provided by a nation or by the people of a nation or people residing in the country. For GDP, we will consider products produced by both citizens of India and even MNCs or people who are residing in India but who are not citizens. Those people also will be considered for GDP. Okay, so it is whatever produced inside the country, in the territory of a country, and whatever services provided inside the country. So that is the GDP, domestic, inside the country. But it includes both citizens and foreign citizens also. Okay, that is domestic product. Okay, within the territory, produced and services provided by both nationals and even people from abroad who are residing in India or in any particular nation. Okay, in case of gross national product, so we are going to consider again products and services produced and provided by all Indians who are in India and who are in abroad. Okay, we are going to consider all Indians. So some Indians may be residing in various countries, but their earnings may be sent back to India. Okay, in terms of various investments or into their families. So gross national product includes whatever services and products produced by citizens of a nation. That is the gross national product. Whereas gross domestic product includes whatever produced inside the country, okay, or within the territory of a nation. That is the difference between GDP and GNP. But both are indicators of the state of economy of any country. Okay, if the GNP or GDP is good, then or if it is having better rate, then we can say the state of economy is good. Okay, so this is about GDP, and I think we have discussed in the earlier classes also. Okay, suppose if the GDP rate is now okay for the recently announced quarter, what is the value of GDP?
Sir, it was minus 23, sir.
That was for the previous quarter. Okay, that is for second quarter minus from April to June, it was minus 23%. Okay, now from July to July, August, September. So that was also announced recently. Okay, 1 or 2 weeks before, government has announced the value for previous quarter. That means from July to September. What is its value? 23 minus 23% is for April to June. So in a year, GDP will be announced 4 times for every quarter. That means for every 3 months, January to March. So then April to June. Okay, so July to September, then December, October to December. Like this, an year will be divided into 4 parts, 4 quarters. Okay, now for previous quarter it was minus 7.5. Okay, the meaning of minus 7.5 is, suppose if you have earned last year, if you consider last year from July to September. Okay, so last year if you have earned 1 crore, this year on an average the people of India have earned how much? So last year 1 lakh idre minus 7.5 GDP andre ee varsha ಎಷ್ಟು earn ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? So it will be 92.5, 92,500. Okay, so the income of people of this nation has reduced by 7.5%. That is the meaning. Okay, so if the GDP value is negative, how will affect entrepreneurs? How does it affect entrepreneurs? Does it affect or not?
Yes, sir, it affects.
How it will affect entrepreneurs?
Because as the GDP decreases, the government policies also changes, sir. That's why.
Okay, it is not only about government policy change. Okay, if the GDP decreases, that is an indicator of a decrease in purchasing power of people. Okay, so people are not earning enough money. Okay, if people don't have enough money in their hands, they cannot invest on selling products. Okay, if people don't buy products, then for what purpose companies will produce? Then manufacturing sector will the growth of manufacturing sector also will decline if there is no demand for the product. Okay, so that's why if the economy of the nation is in good state, then people will consume more number of products and people will consume services provided by different sectors. Okay, so that's why it is an indicator. But suppose okay, suppose if you start your own business and if it is running successfully, okay, then you are adding value to the product. Okay, you know, if you consider the value of the raw material and the finished product, obviously the value of the finished product will be more compared to its raw material. So that means you are enhancing the quality of the product, you are adding value to the product. Okay, when you involve in a process of adding value to a product, so that means at the same time you are contributing to the economy. Okay, so that's why entrepreneurs contribute a lot towards GDP and GNP. Okay, and entrepreneurship contributes to economic stability by introducing new products and services in the market and encouraging effective resource mobilization. This helps in increasing the gross national product as well as per capita income of the people in the country. Okay, what do you mean by per capita income?
Ratio of total income of the nation divided by population.
Okay, so that is the per capita income. Andre ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬಂದು ಆದಾಯ ಎಷ್ಟು on an average. Okay, that is the per capita income. Recently we saw that the per capita income of Bangladesh is better than ours. Okay, so that I think we discussed earlier and I shared a video which make a comparison between what is happening in Bangladesh and what is happening in India. Okay, so those already we discussed. Okay, so finally, if you are able to start your own business and if your business becomes successful, if you are able to produce products, if you are able to provide services, and if you are able to earn profit, that will obviously contribute to GDP and GNP and per capita income of a nation. Okay, entrepreneurs will contribute towards nation development or nation building or nation growth of the country. Okay. So this is the GDP figures from 2012 to March 2020, from June 2012 to March 2020. Okay, so these are the quarter, okay, GDP of each quarter. So now from March 2018 to March 2020, you can see the pattern how GDP is gradually decreasing. Okay, it is before lockdown. So don't consider that everything, whatever happening in the economy, it is only because of Corona. It is not like that. So if you look at the figures like value of GDP, okay, that will give you a picture what has happened before, even before Corona. Okay, so we were in which state, so that will be highlighted by these figures. Okay, if you look at this earlier, okay, so in 2000, in June 2012, okay, we were growing at a rate of more than 5%. Okay, our GDP growth was positive 5%. Then in next quarter it is almost 7%. Okay, then again it has declined, but on an average it is between 5 to 7. Okay, it has not, you cannot see any quarter which is showing less than 4. Okay, from June 12 to 2012 to September 2019. Okay, so you cannot see any quarter in which GDP growth is less than 4. If you look at this graph, okay, only after September 2019 quarter, our GDP has fallen below 4%. That is one observation. Then you can see in 2014 also. So we have reached in 14 and 16, we have reached up to 9%. We were growing at a rate of 9%, more than 8% also in few quarters. Almost on an average, we can consider we were growing at a rate of 7% GDP. Okay. Now, even before this coronavirus and before this lockdown also, our growth rate has fallen from almost 7% to 3%, 3.5 or 3 point some percent. Okay. Now, after coronavirus and after lockdown, it has fallen to minus 23%. Even now for the previous quarter, it is minus 7.5%. So if you look at this graph, there are two major reasons which were identified by, or which are based on the opinions of many economists who are looking after Indian economy. Okay, so they will identify two reasons for the decline in GDP of our country. Okay, which are the two reasons? Okay, so two major decisions taken by our policy makers have affected our economy in many ways. Two major decisions. Our policy makers consider them as historic, but they are not historic. They are blunders. Okay, so they are
Demonetization.
So one is demonetization. It hit our economy hardly. Okay, and after demonetization, many sectors, the growth of many sectors have declined. Okay, and even many small scale industries shut down. ಮತ್ತೆ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ one hit on the economy. Okay, first hit on the economy was demonetization, which was the second hit, which results in further decline in growth of our economy. Second reason, okay, second reason was bad implementation of GST. Okay, implementation of GST in an improper way, that also result in decline in growth of our country or our economy. Okay, you can identify when demonetization was announced. It was announced, okay, in December. In December 2016, demonetization was announced. Sorry, in November, I think November or December. Okay, So look at the GDP at that time. Our country was growing at a rate more than 7%. Okay, so even during September, second quarter of 2016, okay, so second, third, and fourth quarter, if you look at these quarters in 2016, we were growing at a rate of 7 to 8, 8 to 9, even we have reached 9% GDP. Okay, so it was good. But look at the figures after announcement of this demonetization. Okay, our GDP started falling. It has fallen, and it has fallen to 5.5%. Okay, then after that it started again, once again started improving. Okay, after that, so government has decided to implement GST. Okay, so then look at what has happened. So from March 18 to now, continuously our growth rate is declining from 7.5 to 7.5% to 3%. This is before COVID and before lockdown. Okay, after lockdown, you know, minus 23.9%. We are the most affected economy after coronavirus. Okay, even during coronavirus, most of the developing countries have performed well. Okay, the example is Bangladesh. Okay, so they are, even with in the crisis also, Bangladesh is able to do well. Okay, so Bangladesh, Vietnam, Indonesia, so they are doing well even during the corona pandemic. Okay, so we don't know what is happening in our nation and why it is happening like this. Okay, but so all these things will have definitely it will have an impact on entrepreneurship in India. Okay, so it will have negative impact on entrepreneurship in India. The reason is, if the economic indicators like GDP, purchasing power of people, if all are showing declining trend, investors don't get confidence. Okay, when there is no investment, so there will be no new business firms, no new companies. Okay, no startups. Even startups will be taken by big players in the market or crony capitalists. Okay, these things will happen. In order to support entrepreneurs, first thing is government policies should be such that it should build confidence in the entrepreneurs. Okay, so then only they will invest to start a business. Okay, if the conditions are not good, so they don't invest. Okay, and again, if entrepreneurs start their business and if the business are running with profit, then obviously that will result in growth of the country. Okay, for that, first you have to build confidence among the investors. So jana our company start ಮಾಡತ್ತರ first ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಹಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ GDP ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ದೇರ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇದೋ ಓಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲೂಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ, that will affect the confidence in investors. Okay, next, employment generation. If there are more number of companies, new business firms, new startups, then obviously there will be more number of jobs. Okay, so more job opportunities will be created. If you start your own business, you can give employment to 5, 10, then 50, 100. So that means you are able to create employment opportunities for people. Okay, so that is another contribution from entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs play an effective role in reducing the problems of unemployment in the country. Entrepreneurial activities lead to other activities, generating a multiplier effect in the economy. You can understand this multiplier effect in economy if you consider Bangalore. Okay, when this IT boom took place in Bangalore, during which period IT boom took place in Bangalore? even today we consider Bangalore as Silicon City because of the IT companies in Bangalore, because of the IT boom. Okay, we consider 2002, okay, that time as good times for Bangalore. The reason was there was IT boom. Many software companies was established in Bangalore. They started operating, even MNCs started operating from Bangalore. Okay. So because of that, people around the world, from various parts of India, started moving to Bangalore. Okay. So once these software people started earning salary in terms of lakhs, that means in terms of 5 digits. So obviously these people will have enough spending power. ಅವ್ರ ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ದುಡಿತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್. ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದೆಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಗೋ ಟು ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಸ್, again hotels will have good business. Okay, if they go to a mall, again mall will have good business, or the stores in mall will have good business. If they come to homestays in Asan, Chikmagalur districts or Coorg, okay, again these homestays will get business. So this is the multiplier effect. If there is money in the hands of people, obviously it will result in better business for other sectors also, like hotel business, okay, even entertainment sector. Okay, so like this it will be having a multiplier effect. So this is again if you are able to start your own business, then you are able to contribute towards reducing unemployment problem. Okay, so but again if you look at another indicator of our economy, okay, regarding creation of jobs. Okay, so this is the indicator. Okay, according to NSSO data, if you look at the unemployment rate from 1977-78 to 2018, you can see when the unemployment rate is maximum. Okay, so if you have read newspapers, okay, so now we are in a deep crisis in the history of our India. Okay, from 40 to 50 years now, from last 2 to 3 years, we are witnessing a rise in unemployment. Okay, it is at a rate of 6%. So from last 40 years, even there was unemployment problem. The rate of unemployment was not this much. Now we are in a severe job crisis. We are facing severe unemployment problem. It was before pandemic also. There was a unemployment problem. It was at 6%. In 2008 itself, unemployment rate was 6%. That means if there are 100 job aspirants, out of 100, 6 don't get any jobs. That is the meaning of 6% unemployment. Okay, if there are 1 crore people who want to do jobs, 6 lakh people will remain idle, even though they are willing to do work. So they don't have enough job opportunities. Okay, so that is the meaning of 6% unemployment rate. Okay, so before so this is the data for 5 years. Okay, so if you consider unemployment rate, this is 77-78, then after 5 years it is almost it is same. Okay, if you look at this, almost unemployment rate was it was retained at same, but during last few years there is increase in this unemployment problem. Okay, so now also this is after corona pandemic and after lockdown. Okay, during March unemployment rate was 8.2. that is before lockdown unemployment rate was 8.2. even it is worse than this. Okay, in 17-18 unemployment rate was 6%, whereas in 2020 before lockdown it has increased to 8.2. Then after lockdown it has risen to 47.1, then 59.2. Okay, so now again it is at a rate of around 8. So that means if there are 100 people who are willing to do work, out of 100, 8 are not getting any jobs. That is the meaning of this data. Earlier, out of 100, okay, so 3 to 4 are not getting jobs. Now, out of 100, 7 to 8 are not getting jobs, or 8 to 9 are not getting jobs. Like this, we are moving towards crisis day by day because of the mismanagement of economy, because of not giving priority to managing economy. Okay. And again, if this is the state, this is the indication that instead of people starting new business, so existing businesses are closing. All these are indications that instead of people starting new businesses, they are closing their operations of already existing business firms. So because they are in loss, okay, loss because of, it may be because of the corona pandemic, or it may be because of the faulty GST system, okay, or it is because of the people doesn't have enough money to buy their products. Okay, all this results in a decline in this trend of startups. Okay, and we have many schemes. Okay, we have many statements from policymakers, but these statements are not implemented properly in reality. If you consider Make in India or Startup India, okay, so they become good statements. Okay, on ground, if you look at the statistics, so they are telling us a different narrative than what we see in WhatsApp University. Okay, reality and the misinformation in social media or WhatsApp. So both are different. Next, balanced regional development. So that means if industries are started at various locations in a country, okay, so that region will get developed. Consider the example of Bangalore, because there are many companies in Bangalore. Okay, Bangalore is a developed city. Okay, if you consider next after Bangalore, okay, so in Karnataka, which is the next developed district after Bangalore?
Mysore, sir.
Mysore. Okay, then after Mysore? Okay, according to your observation, first is Bangalore, then Mysore, then after Mysore, which is the next developed district center in Karnataka. Okay, you can consider Mangalore, then Hubli. Okay, so these are the places where at least compared to Bangalore, there are less number of industries. Okay, but there are few industries in Mysore, there are few industries in Hubli. Okay, there are industrial areas in most, even in Assam also, there are few companies, there is an industrial area. Okay, so if there are industries at various locations, obviously that will result in growth of that particular region. Okay, because these industries will provide employment opportunities. Okay, then people will have enough money, then that will result in multiplier effect. People start spending what they are earning, whatever they are earning. So then that will result in that will create a new market, or that will create movement in the market. Okay, there will be flow of money in the market. When there is flow of money in the market, so there will be good business. Okay, these are the things. Again, entrepreneurship is all about starting new business. If you start new industries, definitely this will result in growth of particular region. If you start your small startup, okay, in your place, again you will give some employment to nearby people. Okay, so then that will result in their development. Then in turn that will result in development of the nation. Okay, the development of enterprises in less developed regions promotes balanced regional development in the country. But we are facing another problem. Most of the industries are located in one place. Okay, so industries are not distributed. In Karnataka also, most of the industries are in Bangalore. Okay, instead of that, if these industries are located in all district centers, so then this growth will be sustainable. Okay, and it is equally distributed. Now we have this imbalance in growth. Only few cities are attracting investors, whereas investors are not ready to start businesses in other than Bangalore. They don't prefer because of various reasons. Okay, because of lack of infrastructure like airports, like other transportation facilities. Okay, and also suppliers of parts required for a particular product. So there are various reasons. But if it is possible to start businesses at different locations, then the growth will be stable. That is good for sustainable development of any nation also. Okay. Next, entrepreneurship stimulates the distribution of wealth and income to more and more individuals and geographical areas, thus benefiting large sections of society. Okay, so this is another example. Since you are providing jobs, most of the jobs provided by manufacturing companies, so they are they are secured jobs. That means people will get salary. Okay, they will get monthly salary. That means it is a fixed income. When people have fixed income, they will get confidence to spend money. Okay, ನಾಳೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಯ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. So next month salary ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. If they have that confidence, then they are ready to take loan and they are ready to construct home. Okay, so you have seen people. So we will take loan and we will construct house. They have the confidence that so they will get salary every month. Okay, even people who are working in private firms also, they also do take this risk. Okay, so this is another indicator related to economy and growth, overall growth of a state. Okay, so this is about population growth. Okay, so there is a relation between these indicators. Okay, usually whenever if there is a discussion related to population growth, our policy makers or some politicians or some political parties try to divert our attention by creating conflict between various religions. But in fact, that is not the fact. The fact is some of the states in India, okay, so they are showing more population growth. Okay, when you consider the growth in terms of states, state by state. Okay, so these statistics will give you a clear picture. So fertility rate of 1.5 means if there are couples, okay, so on an average they have 1.5 child. Okay, it is not possible, but it is on an average. Okay, so if you look at the statistics, southern states, okay, the fertility rate or the population growth in southern state, okay, is very less. You can consider southern state means Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, okay, so Maharashtra. So in these states the population growth is very less. Okay, then look at the states which are showing more growth, where the fertility rate is more than 3. That means every couple will have on an average so more than 3 children. This is happening in some states because of underdevelopment, because of not providing enough education for people in those states. Okay, those states are Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so again, so Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, so in this also they are underperforming. The reason is again the priority of those states. Most of the southern states, they focused on education, they focused on development, they focused on integrity. Okay, that means they focused on living peaceful life without creating conflicts between religions and all these things. Okay, we are able to develop, all the southern states are able to develop because of these things. We focused on education, we focused on industrialization, we focused on integrity. That means not quarreling based on religion or caste. By following these principles, we are able to develop. At the same time, states like UP, BR, okay, so they are not so growing. The reason is they are having a different priority. If you look at politicians from UP, Uttar Pradesh, okay, so what they will speak are in which, what are their priorities? Their priorities are always related to, okay, so religion and building temples, building mosques, building church. Okay, these things don't work. So we have to set our priorities. If our priorities are in right path, so then there will be growth in economy. Then there will be better environment to start new businesses. Okay, so these things we should remember. So why even investors, they prefer to start their businesses in Karnataka, either in Bangalore, Hyderabad. So they don't go to UP or they don't go to BR. The reason is they will look at the situation in those states. Okay, they look at the cooperation from the governments and the priorities of the government, the policies of the governments. Okay, whether they are focusing on growth or whether they are focusing on, okay, so various issues. You know, what is the priority of politicians in UP, what they are doing now. Okay, so all those things, if you read newspapers, you will realize. Okay, next, promotion of export and trade. Okay, so if you produce products and if there is increase in export, obviously that will contribute towards our growth. And India is facing one major problem. Okay, so that is the fiscal deficit, or there is a trade gap between export and import. Okay, compared to what we are importing, we are exporting less and we are importing more, and this is a problem. In order to overcome this problem only, even our Prime Minister focused on Make in India. Okay, the reason is in order to reduce this gap between exports and imports. If there is more gap between export and import, we have to invest more on dollars. Okay, most of the trade will take place in terms of dollars. Then the demand for our rupee will decrease. Okay, when people have to import, so that means value for rupee also will started picking up. Okay, so we now if you start your own business, if you start producing products, or if you are providing services to foreign clients, then that will result in reducing this gap between export and import. Okay, and that will also help in economic growth of a country. Okay, that is another contribution from entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship promotes the country's export trade and earns foreign exchange. When required, this earning can help combat the country's import use requirements. Okay, but you can see the recent figures related to export and import because of lockdown, because of this pandemic. Okay, so now we have a trade deficit. That means the difference between export and import is 6.76 billion. This is the difference. Okay, we are importing a lot, whereas we are exporting less. Now you can look at what China is doing. Okay, China is a manufacturing hub of the entire world, so they are exporting a lot. That's why it is even during this pandemic, it is showing positive GDP, positive growth. The reason is, so they are producing a lot of products and they are exporting. Since their economy is based on exports, okay, so they are able to show positive growth. But whereas ours, okay, so already compared to previous years, even our export has reduced by 60%, even our import has reduced by 58%. Okay, both are negative. Even in this decline trend also, we are having a trade deficit of 6.76 billion. And why we are discussing this is, if entrepreneurs will contribute towards reducing this gap. Okay, that is another major contribution from a business person or an entrepreneurship. Sorry, an entrepreneur. Next, improvement in the standard of living. Compared to most of the, if you consider an example, okay, so people from North India or UP, BR, okay, they come to Karnataka, states like Karnataka, and they will do work even for daily wages, daily wage laborers come from UP and BR. What is the reason why they come to states like Karnataka from UP and BR? So they will do daily wage works like construction. They will involve in construction activity, painting, other things. Why they come from UP and BR to Karnataka? What is the reason? Even if they come to Karnataka also, they will earn very less money. For earning this small amount, why they come from UP and BR? Sanjay.
Temporary migration, sir.
Temporary migration. Okay. So that is an indicator of standard of living. Okay. So if they do the same job in UP and BR, so they will get even less daily wage. At times they may not get work. Even if they get work, the daily wage they are going to earn in UP or BR is less. Okay, even don't go to that extent. Even people from North Karnataka will migrate to districts like Bangalore, Hassan, Chikmagalur. The reason is again compared to the daily wages they can earn in their villages in some of the districts of North Karnataka. Okay, in southern districts they can earn more, or in coastal districts they can earn more. Okay, so this is the indicator of standard of living. So if people are ready to start industries in North Karnataka, okay, where there are no industries, and if they are able to provide jobs there itself, so then again the standard of living of those people also will increase. Okay, so similarly, if industries are started in UP, BR, and if people of UP, BR get jobs there itself, their standard of living also will increase. Bring a wide variety of products and services into the market. This increases competition in the market and makes it possible for people to avail of a better quality of products and services at lower and more competitive prices, resulting in an improvement of the country's overall standard of living. Okay. Another very important aspect related to this entrepreneurship is if there are more companies producing the same product, if there are more business organization providing the same service, so then there will be competition among themselves. When there is competition among themselves, finally consumer will get benefited. Okay, this is the general observation, and this is what is going to happen. If there is a level playing field for all investors, this is going to happen. Okay, during last 25 years, from 1991-92 to almost till 2014. Okay, so we were witnessing that type of level playing field. Okay, in only in few exceptions there were scams and there were favors done by earlier policymakers also. Okay, I don't go to that discussion, but almost in last 25 years till 2014-15, there was a level playing field. That means if you have enough money in your hands, if you want to start your own business, okay, policies are such that you can start business, no problem. Okay, but from last 5-6 years, what is happening is we are moving from capitalism to crony capitalism. That means our policy makers are making favor to one or two business firms, and at the same time they are not creating enough opportunities. They are not providing a level playing field for others to do their business. You can consider one very good example. If you are if you are open to the facts around you, you can realize, okay, before the launch of Jio, okay, how many mobile companies or how many telecommunication companies were there in the market? Okay, few years back, ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು? ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಸಿಮ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೋಬೋದಿತ್ತು? ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಂಪ್ನಿ, how many companies were there 3 or 4 years back?
9 to 10.
Okay, so 8 to 9 companies. Now how many are in the business? Now how many are in the business? So if you exclude BSNL, now only 3. Okay, so after launch of this Jio, because of the favorism made by our policy makers towards only one company, okay, remaining telecommunication companies, okay, because they are in loss. Okay, so ಲಾಭ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಲಾಸ್ ಏನಕ್ಕಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so the TRAI, which has to look at this, okay, so the responsibility of TRAI is to keep a level playing field in telecommunication sector. But because of the okay, so we cannot discuss those things. You can understand if you have common sense and if you open your mind, you can realize, okay, because of unhealthy competition, because of crony capitalism, because of favoritism from the policy makers, all these mobile companies shed their operations. But you have to look at the consequences. First consequence is there was huge job loss. If there are 9 companies, okay, there will be 9 managers for every district. There will be a sales executive, okay, and there are people working under him. There are outlets, there are service centers, okay, all these are shut down. Because of that, unemployment has risen. Now we have 3 players, okay, so Jio, Airtel, then Idea, I think Idea, Vodafone. BSNL cannot provide 4G service. Again, you have to look at the fact that who has stopped BSNL to give 4G service. Why BSNL is not providing 4G service? Whether it is the fault of the employees or it is the fault of policy makers. Okay, so the fact is in the public domain. So you have to look at that fact. So again, out of these 3, so we don't know when another company will close. So it is already in loss. It may close in a few months or in few years. Finally, only 2 private players will be in the market. Then the problem is, so at the launch of this Jio, you got data for at a very cheap rate. Actually, at that rate, even Jio was in loss. Loss ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. Reason ಏನಂದ್ರೆ they want to rule the market. Their intention was to avoid competition and rule the market. Now they are able to achieve that. But ಇದನ್ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ಯಾರು? ಟ್ರಾಯ್ಗೆ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ಯಾರು? our policy makers. So they don't did all these things. Okay, so because of that, in the telecommunication sector, now we don't have enough competition. Only 2 players. Problem is, from now onwards, they will start increasing the tariff rates and data and for making a phone call. So ಇವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರು ನೀವು ಕೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಕೇಳೋಕ್ಕೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಎರಡೇ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ, ಇಬ್ರು ರೇಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು 3ನೇವ್ರು ಇರಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ವಿತ್ crony capitalism. If there is a level playing field, if there are more number of companies providing same service or product, ultimately customer or consumer will be benefited. If it results towards this monopoly, ultimately initial days they may give you better offers, but gradually they will rule the market and they will increase all the prices. Ultimately, even consumers will also suffer, and even economy will suffer. Okay, only those one or two will become world rich number one, number two, but remain will move towards poverty because of lack of opportunities to earn money. Others will move towards poverty, whereas one or two will become okay, number one in the Asia, number two in the Asia. They started growing at the cost of we common people. Okay, these are the consequences we are facing, and there are economic indicators which are showing the current status. Okay, so this is about improvement in the standard of living. In order to improve standard of living, there must be competition, there must be more number of companies. Okay, if you start your own business, that means there is another addition. Okay, so people will get an addition choice. Because of this competition, cost of products and services will decline. Okay, next this is about another indicator which is related to standard of living. Okay, if your standard of living, you can consider poverty. Okay, so from 2005-6 to 2015-16. Okay, so many states, if you look at the state-wise figure, some states are able to reduce poverty up to 22%. That means in 2005, if there are 100 poor people, okay, in 2015-16, they are able to reduce from 100 to 78-77. That is the meaning of 22.2% reduction in poverty rate. That was achieved by Kerala state. Okay. Similarly, there are state-wise figures. Kerala was able to reduce poverty by 22.2. Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, okay, even Karnataka was able to reduce it to almost 10%. Again, look at the states which are underperforming in reducing poverty. Again, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, UP, okay, and Jharkhand, even Gujarat. It was able to reduce only by a percent of 5.7, which was very less compared to states like Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Okay, and even look at Jammu and Kashmir. Even it was able to reduce poverty in from 2005 to 15. It was able to reduce by almost by 10%. Okay, these are the statistics in public domain, but you may not find these statistics in WhatsApp University. That is the problem. If you read Business Standard, Times of India, Economic Times, okay, quite often in the business pages you can find these graphics and you can find all this data. If you read newspapers and even business pages, you will understand the statistics. Okay, and next, increased innovation. With the liberalization of the Indian economy, the increased competition in the domestic and international market has encouraged entrepreneurs to be more creative. We will discuss about liberalization, privatization, and globalization in next module. Okay, India, we liberalized our economy in 1992. Okay, that means we opened our market for private investment, and from 1992 onwards, many investors come to India. They started investing, started businesses. Even MNCs came to India after this liberalization. Okay, that has resulted in industrialization and increase in job opportunities, increase in GDP because of the more production of products and services. Okay, it has contributed, that is increased, and if there are more industries, again there will be more innovations. Companies always try to enhance their quality of their service and quality of their product. Because of that, there will be room for innovation, or there will be encouragement for innovation. Overall development of the economy. Entrepreneurs create new technologies, products, processes, and services that become the next wave of new industries, and these in turn drive the economy. Okay, so overall, because of entrepreneurship, because of starting new businesses, it is possible to achieve development of a nation. Okay, so that is the major contribution by entrepreneurs. And there is a talk by Shekhar Gupta. Okay, he is the editor of the print. Earlier he was editor of Indian Express. Okay, the entrepreneur cell of IIT Kanpur. Okay, they recently they organized a talk between IIT students and Shekhar Gupta about political economy and entrepreneurship in India. Okay, in this talk also he has covered some of these aspects which we discussed in today's class. Okay, so what are the how policies of this government is affecting entrepreneurship. Okay, he has discussed that with IIT Kanpur students. Later I will share this. Already I shared this link in the study material. At the end you can see recommendations. In that I have included this link also. You can watch if you are interested to know about that. Okay.